Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mind Your Business. This is the first long-form podcast broadcast of the show, so I'm very excited. Most of you have probably heard my shorter hidden gems. This is the first longer version, and I am so happy to have a special guest joining me today. Many of you probably know him on Facebook, but his name is Mike Ehrlich, and he is in the prop tech industry, which is a fancy term I just learned 2 minutes ago. And we actually used to work together at the same company. Different times, he left as I was coming on, and then we reconnected recently in a different capacity. And so he's a wealth of knowledge. And so we wanted to get together and bring some of that knowledge to you, my loyal listeners. But I will let Mike introduce himself and tell you a little bit about what he does.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Stephen. I really appreciate it. And when you say long form, it instantly triggers C-SPAN. So is this going to be like a C-SPAN kind of thing? Anyway, it's great to join you. My name is Mike Ehrlich. I've been in the industry over 10 years. Started with a company called Ehrlich, who's the parent company of ERA, Century 21, Sotheby's, Corcoran, Coldwell Banker, all those different brands. Just started there helping agents and brokerage leverage technology and marketing. Did a couple of years there, did a couple of years with Coldwell Banker, then transitioned to the startup community. My wife wasn't too happy about that because, obviously it's the unknown, but she rode through it with me. And right now I'm with a company called Agent One. We're a community of agents from coast to coast. Just all coming together as one, just sharing knowledge, showing us how to get through these times and how to evolve. And it's been a great ride, and I appreciate. I'm so thankful that Stephen actually reached back out to me. It's been a while since we talked.
Yes, it has, and I think it's so interesting that you and I are, we've taken different paths, but we've kind of served the same purpose. I do it more on a brokerage operational level, and you're focused a lot more on the agent level. But I do, of course, on the agent level as well for my agents, especially at Coldwell Banker Premier. And that's where I think you and I have a lot of synergy. And, we kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And this is what brings us to today's topic is kind of a discussion we were having one time. And it was sort of the difference between, should an agent be seeking a mentor-mentee relationship, or should they be seeking more of a business partnership? And so I think Mike and I kind of have different views on the subject. I wouldn't necessarily say we disagree, but I think we look at it from a different perspective. So I thought this would be a really cool topic to just kind of hash out.
Yeah, and Stephen and I were just talking about this before. If we thought the same thing, that would make for a boring conversation, right? And not to say it's like a bad disagreement. We just have different ways of thinking about things. Not to say one's right and one's wrong, but it's and this is where I think people add value to one another, is when they are going to say, I see it a different way, and actually are willing to have that conversation, which I'm really glad to do, because I'm sure there's many people out there that I get this question all the time. Should I be seeking out a coach, a mentor in my office? And then some of the other agents saying, should I seek out a digital marketing person, or that kind of thing? So it's actually at the forefront right now, and especially with COVID and things like that. It's definitely a topic that's definitely worth discussing, and I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that let's start at the beginning, as they say in The Sound of Music. Start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. So I'm a newer agent. Let's say, within a year, I've been in the business. I'm trying to figure out, what I want to be when I grow up. I'm trying to figure my way through this massive maze of real estate. What would be your advice if I said, hey, should I get a coach? Because I hear this all the time with newer agents is, I think I need to get a coach. Well, of course, we know what that means. It's, hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month for someone to tell you to build a team. Sorry, I have very interesting opinions on coaching, and I've already done videos on this. So in fact, one of them is entitled, "Do you really need a coach?" Because sometimes you don't. Sometimes you need a mentor, or maybe something that a little different way of looking at it is what I think you're going to go with this. So I'm a newer agent. What would you tell me? What should I be looking for?
The first thing that I would do is, definitely introduce yourself, set some time apart to meet with some of the more experienced agents. Definitely your broker. They have a wealth of knowledge. They've been in the industry, a bunch of years. They've been through ups, downs, sideways. Some of them know, what it was like pre-internet. I actually, I went on eBay and bought old MLS books just to see what they looked like. So I actually have them.
That was part of my first real estate job. Every Monday I had to replace the pages in the MLS book. So yeah, we still use them when I got in the business.
Yeah, that's the portal that everybody goes to. And there's no advertising in there except for the house. The black and white pictures, just crazy. But they've been through it all. So I think as a new agent, it's really important that they seek out a seasoned agent and ask for help. See, how do I, point me in the right direction? Not to skip ahead, but again, it could be a two-way street, right?
Spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. Spoiler alert. I think as a new agent, you definitely want to learn what your brokerage has to offer. There's a ton of great tools and marketing and a bunch of crazy stuff that technologists, engineers, marketing people come up with that are really valuable. So definitely learning that, but also creating those relationships with those seasoned agents. That's what I would recommend.
It's funny you bring that up, and as soon as you said get to know, introduce yourself to other agents in your office, I think that's one of the fundamental mistakes that a lot of new agents make is they chase the split and they don't look at the value proposition that a brokerage has. And it's not just tools and tech, it's the people. It's that culture. Is it a culture of nurturing? Is it a culture of we're going to help each other? Because not every company is like that. You go to some offices and you're on your own. Like it is dog eat dog. But guess what? You get 100% of your commission. 100% of nothing is nothing.
Yeah.
It's a lesson I learned before.
Think of it this way. You join a basketball team or a soccer team. You're a part of the team. Your first question to the coach isn't how many times are they going to pass me the ball so I can shoot it.
Right.
You're getting to learn, you're getting to know your teammates so that there's a synergy on the court together.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think that's, something they should always be looking for before they even choose a brokerage is talk to some of the agents, like deal with some of the people before you make the decision, because the other agents in your company can make all the difference. If you get with a company that's not that way, that has a bad culture, you're going to have a bad time basically. So when we talk about mentor mentee, I'll start off by saying, I'm not someone that thinks mentor mentee should not be a two-way street. I definitely think it should be. In fact, I think that's the mistake that people make is they just kind of go, "Hey, can you be my mentor?" Well, what's in it for me? I would love to help you, but I'm a busy person, which is probably why you came to me. Because why would you go to someone who isn't busy to ask you to be a mentor? Like you obviously don't know how to do it either, or else you'd be out there doing it. And so the mentee needs to have something to bring to the table as well, whether it's let me help you with something, let me take something off your plate, let me show you a skill that maybe I have that you don't have. And I mean, I learned that years ago because I was looking for a corporate mentor, and I read a book that was basically like, you have to make yourself attractive as a mentee in order to get the right mentor. It wasn't just to find someone nice and ask him to help you. There are even paid mentorship situations where you pay someone to be a mentor. It's almost like a coach, but it's a little different. Coaching is different. There's a difference between coaching, mentoring, consulting. there's each category has a different function. So what is your perspective on the value, the trade of value?
Well, not to go down the path of do you need a coach, but I think both sides need to be coachable, right? So both sides need to be open-minded into what each other bring to the table. Because everybody has a different skill set. Everybody has a different value add. And I think, sometimes those things are thrown by the wayside when it comes to, new agents. They come in, they're green, they don't know, what's what, whether it's the contract or, how do I show it a house, but they know how to kill it on Instagram. They know how to, do Facebook like a ninja. Those are definitely skills that translate into the real estate industry, to where I think that when I say there's a two-way street, it's not just necessarily the seasoned agent showing the new agent how to do something. I think that new agent, it has to be more of a collaboration than anything else between the two. And I think that's kind of missing, I haven't seen it that much in the industry. Maybe my view is just not big enough. My sample size isn't big enough, but I think that there's definitely a big value add there, for some collaboration and for each other to grow. And as technology and the real estate landscape evolves, I mean, everything is shifting to digital, right? You probably get the same questions I get. How do I run Facebook ads? How do I do Google pay-per-click? How do I convert internet leads? How do I build brand awareness on Instagram? What the hell is Snapchat? You get
I'm too old for Snapchat is what I tell everybody. And all that. What's the other one? TikTok. No, it's not. No, I'm not going to do TikTok. If I'm going to dance, it's for dancing's sake, not for a 30-second social media clip or whatever, 15 seconds. I don't know. I'm too
Exactly. But I think that, the newer or younger agents can bring that skill set and help seasoned agents, kind of flourish in that area, and adapt to the way the world is shifting now.
Yeah. So here's a thought. What if you flip the scripts and instead of the newer agent seeking out a veteran agent, what if the veteran agent looks at it from their point of view? So I've got plenty of agents that I've encountered throughout my career that just need something. They're at a wall. They've hit the wall. They don't know what to do to reimagine their business or reinvent themselves. So they kind of default to, I guess I'll just switch brokerages, or I guess I'll buy a new website, or I guess I'll go, pay Zillow or some other company thousands and thousands of dollars to see if they can generate some leads for me. I just don't know what to do. What if the veteran agent was the one that sought the help to say, I need some fresh blood. I need some, new perspectives in my business. Here's what I can do for you if you'll help me with, these things. I mean, I think most people think mentor-mentee. They think the mentee's getting all the that, and the mentee is the one that's actually seeking out. What if it's almost like an internship? I need someone to work under me. I'll show you the ropes. But I need your help too. What thoughts on that? I mean, could be a cool way of doing it.
Yeah, no, I think it's I think it's a great idea. It's almost like, everybody in a brokerage should have like their own playing card that shows their strengths and their weaknesses, and just trade them around.
And also that little red light that shows if they're crazy or not.
There you go. But yeah, no, I think that again, either side reaching out, I think it's going to be good. I know as agents, we get all these marketing emails about all this new stuff, this cool stuff. But, having resources in your brokerage, I think there's an untapped gold mine there with regards to, some of these agents that are coming on board and their skill set. And again, the seasoned agents, their skill set. And I think that there is a gap there that can make both sides produce even more together,
Absolutely. So, I know you approach it more from a business partnership perspective. So tell me what you have seen or what you imagine like a financial arrangement would look like. Should there be a financial arrangement? Should there be like a specific like written, I guess, contract, or should it just be like a you help me, I help you? Like, how do you see that?
It's actually a good question. In my opinion, is there always needs to be some kind of written agreement. I've learned in the industry that's kind of that's needed, right? So as far as the split goes, I think one hand washes the other. I know, in my experience, as a new agent, they could take 25, 50% off of your first deal and things like that. So, I mean, I think that would be an interesting topic to unpack, because I really don't have an answer as far as how much that would cost. But I think that there definitely have to be some kind of contract. And again, you look at it not as, and people say this, it sounds, I hate saying it. So people look at it, you don't look at it as just a transaction, right? You look at it as a relationship. Like, this isn't the first transaction I want to be doing with you just because you're my mentor or, just because you're my mentee, right? I want us to grow together. We're matched, right? I bring this to the table. You bring this to the table. Let's do something together. Mm-hmm. I don't think it should be just like, one or two or three transactions and then, okay, you're good to go. And you go your separate ways. I think it's a constant growth, and because again, the evolution and of everything is crazy, especially right now. And I can actually, not to go off into a tangent, because I know we talked about this before. We end up going down a rabbit hole, and
we definitely have been rabbit hunting a few times together.
It's like you're on YouTube at 2:30 in the morning, and you're looking at crazy skydiving videos. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway. I think that it's a longer relationship, that both sides are bringing something to the table, and I think that, again, it's just going to foster growth in the community, like you were just talking about before. I don't believe that a brokerage's colors or logos or brand, I don't think any of that matters, right? As an agent joining a brokerage, I think, again, it's community. You're partnering with people that want to see you grow, want to help you grow, and vice versa, right? If you get along with people and they're people that you want to go have a beer with or go to a barbecue with outside of work, then you found your tribe, right? Mm-hmm. So
I have to say that I do disagree with that point. Being the VP of operations for a franchised real estate company.
Oh boy. Okay. Edit that out.
I think there is some value to that, but I know what you mean. I mean, you're right. When it really, really comes down to it, I mean, let's face it. We've both worked with franchisees all over the country, and they're not created equal. Just because you're a part of a franchise doesn't mean you're necessarily of that caliber. Right. So I know what you're saying, but I just jokingly have to disagree, because it does matter. It matters, at least in my market. It matters. If you're in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia,
there you go.
So I guess the question that I would have for you, playing devil's advocate, is, gee, Mike, it sounds like you're really advocating for forming teams. What's the difference between what you're proposing as a mentor-mentee thing and just being a team, or creating a partnership or a team or whatever? Is there any functional difference, or is it just what we decide it's going to be called?
I think it's just it's dependent on each other's goals. So if your goal is to build a team, then that's great. If your goal is to be a solo agent and you want to help each other out on different deals, then you can set up some kind of structure there. I think it's just a matter of, it's going to sound silly, you're going to be in each other. You want to be in each other's lives. You want to help each other, whether, again, you're either doing it solo or you're doing it together as a team, because again, you want somebody that you're able to call and ask questions of, and vice versa. Right. So whether that's solo or teamed up, I don't think it matters. It's just a matter of the structure that you set in place.
Okay, cool. So are you familiar much with the concept of a succession plan for agents?
I am.
So I could see this component sort of leading into that, depending on what the mentor, what your goals are. If you're at maybe the sunset of your career, this is a great way to bring someone on, train them, get them to know your sphere of influence, and then sell your business. I mean, so many agents, the joke when I was a young agent was, agents don't retire, they just go listless, or their listings expire, whatever. It's sad when you see someone who's been in the business 20, 30 years just go, all right, and they send their license back to the state. Are you kidding me? You got a gold mine of a referral base that you could be making money off of for years. And so I think agent succession planning is kind of becoming the new thing. I know I was talking to Todd Conklin, who CB out in Colorado, and he's working on some stuff for agent succession planning. There was somebody else, I watched a video. What is it called? Golden Parachute, I think. I don't know. It's about the book. Yeah. About agent succession planning. And it's a cool topic. Of course, I look at it. I'm more interested in my world of mergers and acquisitions. I'm more interested in broker succession planning, but I think as a brokerage, what the part of the value I want to bring to my people is that succession plan. I've got a lot of agents, not a lot, but I have several agents who are at that point where they're like, I'd like to have a plan. Like I would like to retire at some point. So yeah, I think the mentor mentee thing is kind of that first step almost, to the succession plan. And in that case, there really does need to be a written agreement. There needs to be a dollar amount. It's usually a tapered referral fee, like it's this much in the beginning, and then it tapers off, but it's usually a multi-year plan. It's normally a 3 to 5 year plan, just like selling a brokerage is a 3 to 5 year plan. You can't just wake up one morning and go, I'm going to sell my business today. I'm going to be retired tomorrow. I mean, I'd say you can, if you don't want to make any money, if you want to take like 40% discount on your price, you can sell today. So yeah, I think looking at it from that perspective is a lot of value. Of course, the actual percentage of agents who would actually admit they want to retire at some point is probably low. If they're being honest with themselves, it should be a lot higher. But I think a lot of agents don't want to even admit the fact that, someday I would like to not have to work. I've got agents that basically are like, yeah, you'll carry me out of here in a pine box, and that's fine. If you love this industry and you want to do it till you can't do it anymore, hats off to you. But I'm a business person. I think you should look at it as a business.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, they always talk about, start with the end in mind, right? So as a new agent, if I was presented with that opportunity, I mean, I would have jumped all over it, partnering with a top agent, because it's not even just necessarily the book of business that they have, but, the doors that they're going to be able to open for you and becoming a producing agent out the gate, and not just like, I don't know where to start. I think, I
mean, the book of business almost becomes incidental, it's like, oh, it's kind of a bonus. It's like, oh, great. Now in some cases it's very substantial. But you should never look at it as I'm buying this business just to run the book of business. Cause you're gonna, they have 500 people in their sphere of influence. Not everyone's going to transact, and not everyone's going to transact in several years. And there's going to be a percentage of people that simply won't use you because you're not, agent A. And so you have a lot of breakage, and so you can't necessarily count on it. But yeah, I mean, it can smooth the transition, into, it can make it a little less painful to get into the business and learn. And you kind of have that cushion.
Yeah, and there's going to be people in there, believe it. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. There's going to be people in that book of business that agent whose book of business it is, they don't necessarily want to deal with. Maybe it's a first-time home buyer or somebody that they just don't have time for, because they're working on 6 other deals. Again, it's getting you ingratiated into the business. You're almost like an apprentice, right? And I think it's a great way to hit the ground running. And I think if more people did this, there'd be a lot more producing agents,
Yeah. Yeah. And a quick aside, it's not really a mentor mentee thing, but a little bit of advice I would give is if you're a new agent, find one of the top listing agents in your office, in your company, and offer to do open houses for them, offer to take their buyer leads. And, I'll pay a referral fee. If there's a weekend call that you don't want to deal with and you want to send me your buyer leads, I'll, 25, 35, whatever percent you come up with a thing. I mean, I've got an agent who's doing that right now, and, hats off to her. I mean, that's, she's in a rural market. Not a ton of business. I mean, especially when you're brand spanking new, she teamed up with one of our top listing agents and she's getting her buyer deals, and it's really working out great because that agent has zero interest in doing buyer deals. She's a listing agent and that's what she does. So it's extra money for her. She would have just thrown those buyer leads away. So why not? All you have to do is ask. You'd be amazed at how many people are willing to give you leads that they don't want to deal with.
Exactly. I will be your beeper. You know what I mean? Somebody's interested. Somebody wants to do something. I'll be Johnny on the spot or Janie on the spot, and be there for them.
For the children at home that have no idea what a beeper is, also known as a pager.
Oh boy!
Look it up. It's a little thing that we used to clip on our belts, and you could send a numerical thing to have someone call you
on a payphone.
Yeah, exactly. And if it was an emergency, you put 911 in front of the number, and they knew that they needed to call you back right away. Oh, we're old. So, one last kind of point with that is, when you're looking at the succession plan part of it, what's your advice to an agent who is kind of reaching that point? Like, we've talked about the people who have sort of, said, oh, I need help or I need skill. But like, when you're at the end, I shouldn't say at the end, that sounds horrible. When you're reaching that point where you're like, you know what? I think it's time to spend more time at my beach house. What do you do? Like, what is your suggestion from just your perspective, top of your head? What should that agent do? What's the first thing they should, move that chess piece?
Well, and I'm actually going to throw this back to you, because they're the CEO of their own company, right? We hear that all the time, and you treat it as if you're the owner. So if a CEO or an owner was transitioning out of their company, what does it look like for them to, get somebody to fill their position?
It's a very good question. So, the first thing that I'm going to take it to the brokerage level then, because the brokerage CEO or whatever, I think the first thing you need to do is sort of assess your assets. Like, what do I really have? So if I'm thinking of retiring / selling my business, I need to know what I have to sell. I need to look at, what is it that I have that's of value? Is it my book of business? Is it my pending transactions? Spoiler alert, it's not. It's your book of business. It's your sphere of influence. That's what you have to sell. Have you cultivated it? Unfortunately, I had an agent that had been in the business 30 years and really didn't even understand what a sphere of influence was. Hadn't kept any contact information for past clients, nothing. Yeah. It was very disheartening, because it's like, what have you've built nothing. It's like you've been renting your whole life. You have no equity built in your business. She had nothing.
Right.
It's sad,
Yeah.
But look at you assess the business and say, if a broker was looking to sell the business, they would look at the value of the business. So what does the business bring in? We would factor it on EBITDA and all that stuff. But as an agent, you basically look at, you take an honest, hard look at your sphere of influence. You say, what percentage of these people transact with me on an annual basis? Let's say it's 10%. Okay, which may be a little low. Probably it should be low. If you're doing a good job with your sphere, 10% should be very low. I know agents that have, 20, 30, 40% of their business coming from a sphere of influence. So let's say 10%. So I've got 500 people in my sphere. So I'm doing approximately 5 deals a year. Well, what's your average sales price? Da, da, da. You can back into the number. So this is worth approximately this much in GCI, gross commission income. So, okay, that gives me a little bit of a dollar value. So if we talked in terms of referral fees, let's say a 25% referral fee for the first year, this is about how much I can expect to make. I'm not going to get rich off of it, but it's better than hanging it up and getting nothing, Yeah. And then that would be the first step, I would say. Now, from a brokerage perspective, I think a lot of brokerages are not good at developing these plans for their agents. We're working on it, but we haven't cracked the egg yet. But I think it should be the brokerage. I think brokerages that can offer this service to their agents well and give them a roadmap, I think they're going to be the popular destination. It's almost like a come retire with us mentality. Are you at the end of your business? Come here and we'll show you how to sell your business. We'll build a plan for you so that way in 2 years, 1 year, whatever you want it to be, you can step away from your business and get residual income for several years. Instead of just dwindling away to nothing, come work for us. It's a boom to the business because not only are you getting their business while they're active in the industry, but you're going to retain a portion of their sphere of influence. Right. So now as the brokerage, I have basically adopted their business as a part of my business. And now I've seen brokers do this where they bring in a veteran agent that wants to sell their business, and then they go out and recruit another agent to team them up. And so now you've actually gained 2 agents that's going to last for several years, because not only are you now anchoring this veteran agent to your company, you're anchoring the newer agent, not like contractually, but it's that loyalty of, we've helped you build this business, and so, yeah, I think done properly, a brokerage can really benefit from having a solid succession plan program for their agents. And I know it's a little bit of a tangent on what we were talking about, but it kind of does all tie back, because I think it all begins with that mentor-mentee relationship and that mentality of helping one another and teaming people up based on their need and their skill.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the biggest pieces of this is the matching part, right? Not everybody's going to be a match, and it shouldn't be forced. I think it's almost, in some instances, it's like a round robin, like, okay, this person, it's their turn to mentor a new agent, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of similar to what we do in our scout business, where we match our clients with the top agents in whatever area they're looking in, right? Mm-hmm. You can sell $100 million in real estate, but if you're not going to get along with this seller, it doesn't matter, right? So I think there should definitely be some thought around the matching component. What is that seasoned agent? That experienced agent, what are they looking to do, right? Like that, the plan you were just talking about, and what that new agent is looking to do. Are they looking at this as just like kind of a side hustle? They have a day job, are they watching some of these shows and think that they're going to be a millionaire overnight? You know what I mean? Like, I think the matching piece is definitely important and would need to be figured out,
Mm-hmm. I agree. I definitely agree. Well, this was really good. I think we uncovered a few things I wasn't expecting to talk about. I love the succession plan conversation. I think I could do we might just have to do a whole other talk about that. I think there's a lot of topics we could probably talk about. So folks, I think you'll be seeing a lot more of Mike on the channel. I think, that he will be a repeat guest star. So this was a lot of fun, and I want to give you an opportunity to sort of let everybody know, like, how they can get in contact with you, or what is it that you do that helps agents? I know you've kind of alluded to, Agent One and all that, but what is that? What is all that?
So Agent One was founded when COVID first hit. What we saw was we wanted to be able to help our community, be a resource to our community, to help them navigate the waters when it comes to everything being virtual, right? Like this is a world that, being in a startup, you live in a virtual world every single day. Like I work from home every single day. So I'm used to Zoom. I'm used to all these different things. So just being able to provide that kind of information, being able to show agents how to generate their own leads through Google, through Facebook, and just showing them how to utilize the tools that they already have. That's kind of what we've been doing. And it's been great. We've been growing exponentially. And at the end of the day, we're just looking to create a community. There's no one single person that is like, this is the guy, this is the woman, this is, you know what I mean? There's a lot of programs out there like that. It's just everybody brings something else to the table that they're going to be able to share. So it's really just a group for agents that think the same way, to come together, collaborate, and sounds corny, but build a brighter future.
And where do they go to connect with all that?
So you can go to Facebook and just type in Ready Agent One, and it'll bring up our Facebook group. So you can just easily get into our Facebook group that way. Once you're in there, you'll see me pop in there. I have annoying posts every single day. I do annoying polls every single day, or I've actually tapered down a little bit because my funny thing is my wife is in there and she's like, "Why do you write these polls?" I'm like, all right,
don't judge me. This is how I do my business. Okay.
Can you just participate in the polls? Anyway. But yeah, no, you can reach out to me through the Facebook Messenger. Obviously, we have our phones tied to our hip constantly. So that would be the best way to get in touch with me. Awesome. And I also, with that, Stephen, I think that you should definitely do a session on just this world. I mean, video, everybody hears it, video, right? But I think a lot of us are nervous of I sound horrible when I listen to myself. You know what I mean? It sounds good in my head, but when I hear myself talk, who the hell is that? Right. So I actually think that it would be a great idea if you went through, what you do as far as content creation, and, it doesn't take a bunch of money and a bunch of effort to really put this together. It just, it just takes a few minutes and you just have to do it. Don't.
That's true. Because those of you who know me know I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on it because I'm a good steward of financial resources. And I don't have a lot of spare time because running a 8-office company from 450 miles away. So that's always fun. So yeah, I mean, it really doesn't take much. And the one thing I always say about the, video podcasting, any of this, be yourself. If you try to be all fancy schmancy with it, people are going to see right through it. I know I say and a lot, whatever, get over it. I'm never going to be a radio star. It's fine. I'm not going to sit there and, go take, not that Toastmasters is bad or ever, again, I don't have time for all that. I'm not going to go take public speaking courses just so I don't say all the time. So no, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, I mean, but it goes right in line with what you just said, though. With regards to real estate agents, there's millions of real estate agents. People go with a real estate agent they know, like, and trust, and that are real with them, right? Yep. And this is the best avenue in order to get in front of your audience right now, because especially now during COVID, where everybody's glued to their computers and their phones.
Exactly. And so if you are on the go, catch it on the podcast. This is Mine Your Business, MINE. It's on all of the streaming channels, Spotify, Google, Apple, all the things. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can find me. Stephen Meadows with a PH, as you guys should know. So thank you again, Mike. This was awesome. Had a blast. And I'm sure we will be doing this many more times. And to all of you listening out there, I hope you have an awesome one and make great choices. Hey, one more thing before you go. I just wanted to tell you really quickly about an amazing service that I think you'll love. If you're in real estate and you are tired of trying to figure out social media content, I have got the thing for you. I helped a friend of mine develop a company called Gnome Marketing Group, and they offer Facebook page management for an incredibly low price. So basically, how it works is you sign up, you make them an editor on your business page, and they will post 12 different posts per week. So it's 2 per weekday, 1 on the weekend each day for you. You don't have to do anything. They have hashtags and everything. It's really great. And it's incredibly cheap. If you go to knowthegnome.com/coupon, you can sign up with my coupon code Steven45 and get it for $45 a month. That's incredibly cheap for someone to do all your social media posting for you on your business page. Again, that's Know the Gnome, KNOWTHEGNOME.com/coupon and use my coupon code Steven45, STEPHEN 45, $45 a month. It's $30 off. It's an incredible price. I hope you take advantage of it. It's an amazing service. Have a great one.